What's happening? I want to thank you for coming to Vape with a Viking. So today what I got for you is a newer RDA by Mike Vapes. You know what it is. It's a 24 millimeter recurve dual. So pretty much just like the original dual, which gunmetal with the 22 millimeter conversion cap on there. And hey, gunmetal. So again, 24 millimeter wide, 34 millimeter tall. Basically, we're gonna get down into it, but kind of an expanded version of the Recurve single, which is a really good RDA. But before we dive down to this guy, we're gonna do Vikings advocacy minutes. Like I tell you every single time, you don't have to be part of the fight, but please be informed. Get yourself informed. Have to do that. You just got to. That way nothing sneaks up and bites you in the ass. So go to CASA.org, not blowing smoke. Several different sites out there for the US, and then of course there's individual sites for the UK and South Australia and South Africa. But you just need to find where to get this information because at least you'll be informed. That's all I can ask. That's all I can ask. Just be informed. No butt biting. So, but let's get back to this RDA. So I do have it on top of the Mech Life and Ambitions Vapor Arcless mod. And I mean, so far we'll do the build, we'll wick it, we'll coil it, all that kind of good stuff. And then we'll come back up, we'll vape on it, and we'll talk about the newest rendition from Mike Vapes and Wotofo. So let's drop the hammer on the Recurve Dual.
All right, so what I got for you today is the Recurve Dual. This is one of Mike Vapes and Wotofo's new renditions here. So you got the kind of newer packaging that they're doing, like you saw with the Profile Unity, is this kind of clear plastic cover. Then you have, of course, the iconic Recurve here, and then Recurve Dual. And on the side, you'll get your UPC, your authenticity, and your color configuration right there. Wotofo and their social media, your contents, and again, telling you color configuration. And then on the back, your attention, Wotofo, Mike Vapes, and all the little symbols and everything back here. All right. And as usual, this has been ultrasonic, but that is it. And I do have the gunmetal rendition, and it's going to come stock with the, I guess, black white smoky swirl tip. And on the outside, you got Recurve there. You got your 6 holes on this side, nothing on that side, and 6 holes again on the other. You do have a nice protruding hybrid safe 510 gold pin there. And on the bottom, Recurve Dual, Wotofo, Mike Vapes, and it is set up as standard non-squonk right now, and that is how it will come stock. So you will get your screwdriver, your Allen key, you will get a frosted 810 drip tip, then you'll have couple strands of aglated cotton. You will have some quad core fused claptons, which is what was in the original Recurve, and you'll have your accessories. You got a couple body O-rings, you got your 810 drip tip O-ring, a whole new set of screws, and your squonk 510 pin, and of course you'll get like your user manuals and all of that. So this is the coily, I just said it coily, the coil cutting or coil measurement cutting tool. Thought this was a really neat idea by them. So let's see if the camera will pick it up here. You'll have, it says 4 millimeter there, and then on the back side here you'll have 1 millimeter. And what that is for is you have, or how that works I should say, is you have 4 millimeter here, and then each one of these you just add a millimeter. So this guy will do all the way up to 10 millimeter. So let's say, and if I remember right, the book says 6 millimeter. So for the deck on this. So you go 4, 5, 6. And now you just have your cut depth. So I thought that was really, really neat little tool. Kind of a something, we've never seen before. And then it'll tell you right here just kind of how to get along with this guy here. Pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty much just like the original. You just have placement for 2. That's really kind of the big thing with that. And so it's shouldn't be horribly complicated. If you have the original Recurve, you'll know how to get with this. So, and again, on that top cap, you got that 810 inner O-ring, nice and beefy there. You have your 6 airflow holes, and on the inside, again, just pretty simple, effective but simple. You just got your doming in there, and you got your air holes on each side. It does have it's going to be hard to pick that up, I think. There you go. Got a little bit of a notch system here. Got 2 notches right there. And then the deck itself. So you got your double rings here. And if you look, it's just pretty much, if you took the Recurve and just made it wider. So they didn't do anything crazy. They didn't change anything that worked. They just made it a little bit bigger and better. You got your screws on the side, and you can do either Phillips or flathead. And on that, you have Recurve dual there. And then that is it on the sides there. So you'll see you got a little bit of that little cut down action. You have the curves there. Then, of course, you'll have your peak insulator. And then your 4, still all moisture in there. You'll have your 4 set screws there. With that kind of cut and everything, everything's machined fairly well. There's nothing bad in there. So in this squonking action, when you put in the pin, is just a regular, just up through the middle and just flood the deck type of squonk action. So, like I said, pretty much you're familiar with the original. You'll be roughly familiar with this guy. So we'll go ahead and use the included contents. We'll use the coils. We'll use the cotton. The only difference is we'll be using some Dark Star Black Forest e-liquid to fill it up with, which is a decadent, rich, dark chocolate cake, cherries, and fresh cream. So we'll get that on there, put it together, wick it, build it, juice it, come up, and I will tell you what I think personally of the Recurve Dual.
we are back with the Recurve Dual. All right, so kind of get some specs out of the way. Like I said before, 24 millimeter wide, 34 millimeter tall. You can get this from a lot of websites. Come on, it's Wotofo, it's Mike Vapes, it's everywhere. Looking anywhere from 30 to 35 bucks, just depending on where you go. So one thing I did put in the dive down that I completely, I don't know, I guess spaced it off. I don't even know how to really kind of come to the conclusion of that one. But I had told you to cut at 6 millimeter on the coils. I went back, looked at Mike's presentation of it, and he said 7. For some reason, I thought he said 6. I don't know why. So I do have new coils in here, and they are running at 7 millimeter. So they're basically just right even with that airflow. And since there's not really a lot of pitching, there is some pitching to it, but not extreme pitching. I put them pretty much parallel to the air slots. So at most, what it's going to do is hit right at the coils, and since they are slightly angled, it'll probably come hit them and maybe come down a little bit, but then ultimately roll under that coil. So I've tried it for several weeks now, pretty much since it's been released. I've tried it on, of course, mech mods, and I've tried it on regulated mods. Haven't tried it on a squonk, mainly because I ran the Recurve single on squonks for a really good period of time. So, and squonk's exactly the same. But I never really tried it on a lot of mechs. And then, of course, I usually tend to carry regulated at work. So, of course, I'm going to use it there for testing. But any device I put it on, it's good. Again, can't speak of the squonking action, but it's the Recurve. I squonked really well with that. So lots and lots of pros. Where this is going to be different, some people are going to be like, well, why not just pick up the Recurve if it's basically like the Recurve but bigger? Main reason why is because there are a ton of dual coil vapors out there. I, for one, I'm more of a flavor person, so it doesn't matter if it's at 40 watts or if it's at 90 watts. To get the kind of flavor out of it, I'll use it. Doesn't matter if it's single coil, dual coil, giant coil. You know, it doesn't matter as long as I get flavor out of it. The only time that it, I guess, matters to me is there is such a thing as too hot of a vape. And then it doesn't matter what flavor it is. It's just too hot. So, but this is going to be good for those people out there that love dual coil. And we're just like, the Recurve, it's single coil. I think I'll pass on that. Well, there you go. Now you build a dual. It's got a little bit of tweaks here and there, but basically for your dual coil, you're going to get some really, really good flavor out of this guy. And what I actually have in it now is some Cali steam, and it's that steam whip. Shout out to CM for not only the steam whip, but he also sent me this Recurve dual as well. And if you like a creamy pineapple dessert, that so far is literally the best one that I've tried. But show a little vapor production. I do have a 30T in here. Build in there is about right at a 1.4, 1.5. Yeah, so that's wide open. Actually, with this steam whip, I've actually been cutting it down to 2 or 4 of the 6 holes, and whew, it jumps good. Yeah, so you can get down to like a 0.1 build and probably get a lot faster action, more vapor production, but flavor wise, that just it's where it's at now with this steam whip. It's awesome. It's just like I wouldn't say a pineapple custard, but it's just like a fresh pineapple cream dessert. It's really good. So, and I've tried other juices in this. This does most juices justice. It's like I said, it's the Recurve, just a little more power to it. So, definitely pick this guy up if you passed on the original Recurve because it was single coil. This has got your dual coil needs, and even if you have the single, pick up the dual because I mean, basically it's almost the same price as the regular single. You can get the single a little cheaper, but this is going to fit, at least aesthetically, devices a little bit better if you got bigger mods, and you just get the same kind of performance, just a little more of it. So, but that is all I got for the Recurve Dual. I want to thank each and every single one of you yet again for coming to Vape with a Viking, and I'll check you later.